welcome to level 8. Remove one outlier, then plot and find the equation of the line of best fit using the least squares method. Given points A to J. We can see our points A to J. We can see that C is really not one of those points. That's our outlier. I'm going to remove the C point, which is at 627. I'm going to put a little XXX over here to remind me not to take anything from this row. I need to populate these rows. I need to do the X times the Y's is equal to 2 times the 3. And then I'm going to do the X squareds. Then I'm going to fill that across and then fill all these down. When it's 6, we're getting 36 for X squared. When it's 5, we're getting 25 for the Y squared. So that's all working. I want to remove the C point, which is the 627. I need to do the sum of all of these values. It's equal to the sum of all the x's, but I want to take away that C point, which is the 627. I'm going to remove the 6 by doing subtract and click on the 6A4. When I fill that right, it'll do the same thing for each column. For this one, for example, it's adding up all of these values, but it's removing the 729, which is E4. The number of values that I have, we started off with 20 was our last value. This is the 10th value. I removed 1, so we have 9 values. N equals 9. I'm just writing that to remind me to use 9 as the N in all of these. We need to figure out a top, a bottom 1, a bottom 2, the A, the slope of the line of best fit, the B, the initial value for the line of best fit, the R, the correlation coefficient. The top, bottom, and all of that stuff. Let's have a quick look over here. Least squares method. A is, this is what I call the top, this is what I call bottom 1. The top is the number of values times the sum of all the x times y's. Take away the sum of all the x's times the sum of all the y's. The bottom 1 is the number of values times the sum of all the x squareds. Take away the sum of all the x's squared. B is y take away ax, but we're going to use the mean of the y's, the mean of the x's. The mean of the y's is the sum of all the y values divided by the number of y values. The mean x is the sum of all the x's divided by the number of x's, which is the same as the number of all the y's. N becomes our common denominator. This is our equation for B. For R, the correlation coefficient, same top that we have up here, divided by the square root of same bottom, then that bottom again, but in terms of the y. N times the sum of all the y squareds, take away the sum of all the y's squared. The top is N, 9 times the sum of all the x, y's, take away the sum of all the x's times the sum of all the y's. The bottom 1 is N, 9 times the sum of all the x squareds, take away the sum of all the x's squared. And then I can fill that out to get the bottom 2. It's 9 times N times the sum of all the y squareds, take away the sum of all the y's squared. The A is the top divided by the bottom 1, which is 0.625, which is something over 8. So if I multiply is equal to that times 8, that gives us 5. I'm going to write 5/8 here. 5 over 8, then I'm going to write equals, that is 0.625, it was 5/8. The B is sum of all the y's minus A times the sum of all the x's divided by N divided by 9. That gives us 3. Our equation is y equals 5 over 8x plus 3. Our R is the top divided by the square root of the first bottom times the second bottom, close the square root bracket, 0.73664 equals that. I'm going to round it to 4 or 5 decimal places. I'm going to have this 4 tell that 4 to stay a 4. The intensity is moderate. The outlier is C. Then we need to graph it. The B value is 3. The initial value is 3. The slope is 5/8. So I'm going to go over 8 and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice the line does go through all of our values, so this is the line of best fit. Then we press answer to see if we're right.
I said yeah. I said oh yeah.
And that's it for level 8. Have a good day.